Hello everyone, welcome to Camera Shy to Camera Ready. This is like kind of a little impromptu part 2 Q&A where we're going to get into all of your questions about the webinar, about what this is all about, and hopefully help you get really clear on how you can actually hop on camera and feel really freaking comfortable, really freaking confident, really freaking ready to actually be there. So, because I had technical issues a couple minutes ago, I'm going to give everyone a couple seconds to join, and if you guys have any questions as I am talking, whatever pops up, just pop them in the chat, and I will be sure to get to them as quickly as possible. So, if you were watching this Q&A about 5 minutes ago, you probably saw me get kicked out. And so the reason that I'm bringing that up is because one of the biggest things that I actually talk about in the webinar, which I believe I'm going to be bringing back a couple of different times, maybe it'll be for sale, maybe it'll be another free training, we'll see. But one of the things that I talk about in that webinar, as well as in my new program, Mastering Conversation, the mentorship, is, things happen. You're human. We all trip up. Sometimes we all get kicked off our tech. I know for me, tech is not my strong suit. And my husband's actually across the room laughing because he knows that's true. The tech is not my strong suit, and that's okay. And one of the biggest things that I've learned, especially just being like in the professional world, being in the corporate world, is that shit happens. Shit happens. Sometimes you'll be on a Zoom call and the dog will bark, or your kid will call. I don't have a kid yet, but I've seen this happen so many times. Kid opens the door and starts asking about dinner. I've actually been on amazing live interviews where in the middle somebody called and, it was the person had a child and they had to answer the call and they actually had to hop off. That was one of my favorite interviews to date. So Tamara, I always say that wrong. Tamara, if you're watching, that's a little shout out. I love that you just hopped off. It really doesn't make a difference. So what I want to point out to you before we even get into the Q&A is sometimes tech fails us. Sometimes tech doesn't work. Sometimes tech gets in the way. Rather than let it faze you or let it stop you from getting on camera and saying what you want to say, feature it. It's okay. You're a freaking human, not a robot, and nobody is going to fault you for having a human moment or having a moment where the tech doesn't work. Shit happens. And it doesn't mean anyone takes you less seriously or anybody doesn't take what you're saying seriously. It's everything that you're saying is still going to hit. It's still going to matter. So don't let the tech stop you. And honestly, if you need to just take a second to regather your thoughts, if something happens, do that, feature it, and then move on, like what I'm doing right now. Okay. So, before we get into the Q&A, exactly, Carly, shit happens. Love it. So before we get into the Q&A, I just want to answer a couple of questions that came through for me right before this call. What is Camera Shy to Camera Ready? What was it all about? So, it was actually a webinar that I did last week where we got you guys uber prepared to show up for your next Zoom or your next live and just freaking kill it. So we didn't just talk about strategy, we didn't just talk about planning, we talked a lot about the mindset stuff. Some of the stuff that prevents us from actually getting on camera and saying what we need to say. Because it can be really scary. I don't know about you guys, but I used to be the girl who I used to run into another room to take a phone call, right? I used to have the story that If I was gonna hop on camera, I had to wear a really cute outfit and put on makeup. At the end of the day, nobody gives a shit what you look like, right? Nobody gives a shit what you sound like. That was a really hard pill for me to swallow. And once I finally got over myself, and once I finally realized that, like, people only care about how you're going to add value to their lives, once I realized that people only care about how you're going to add value to their lives by listening to whatever it is that you're saying, I was able to show up as I am, right? I don't have any makeup on. I do have a filter on, but whatever. I do have a filter on just because my skin looks crappy, but that's what filters are for. We love technology, right? So anyway, I have no makeup on. I'm wearing my favorite shitty old Champion sweatshirt, and you guys are still going to get so much value out of watching this, okay? Does not matter what I'm wearing. Exactly, Carly. So somebody in the chat said, it's too much work to try to please the world, or what you think pleases the world. Exactly. You're not a mind reader. You don't know what other people are thinking, and you have no possible way of being able to guess what somebody else is thinking. So all you can do is just show up and deliver the amazing message and the amazing information that you have, okay, that you know that everyone needs to hear. Alright? So, I'm going to get into some of the questions that came up, and as I chat, just drop your questions in the chat, and I'm going to get to them at the end after I answer the questions that already came up. I do want to mention that if you are watching and if you ask an awesome question, you will be entered into a drawing to win a consultation call with me to implement some of the stuff that we went through inside of Camera Shy to Camera Ready. And just as a nice little extra bonus, everyone else can no longer watch Camera Shy to Camera Ready after tonight, but because you guys showed up for yourselves and because you guys showed up and answered and asked great questions, you guys get an extra 24 hours with a private link to watch the webinar. It was so freaking good. It will literally change the way that you show up on camera. So I can't believe that I'm offering this. Anyway, drop your questions and good luck. And I'm so excited to help you guys thrive on camera. Alright, let's bring up these questions. Okay, first question. So we're starting with a little bit of a rough one. This one kind of hit hard for me when I saw this one, because it hit home a little bit. So somebody asked, how do I confidently show up on camera despite all the weight that I've gained? That is an amazing question. Such an amazing question. Alright, so this is going to be a little vulnerable here. Up until about 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago, I was the heaviest that I have ever been. Heaviest that I've ever been. I put on so much freaking weight this summer. Like, since my wedding, I gained 35 pounds, and my wedding was a year ago. So I really genuinely was just so uncomfortable with how my body looked. And at the same time, as I was super, like, just, I don't want to call myself overweight. I'm beautiful. It's all happy pounds, right? Every pound is a happy memory. I think Carly, who's in the chat, said that to me once, and I loved it. At the same time as I was, like, trying to get back into the gym and get back into losing weight, that is when I started to get really freaking comfortable on camera. Alright? That's when I started to get really freaking comfortable on camera. So, how is that possible? Like, when I was in amazing shape, I literally was terrified to get on camera. I was scared of my own shadow. I couldn't even handle with people that I've known for years and years. I couldn't handle getting on a Zoom with them. I really struggled, even at work, to do the whole like FaceTime thing. And even when my friends would call me during the pandemic, I would refuse to do FaceTime. I hated being on camera. And I was in really good shape for most of the last couple of years. So now, all of a sudden, I gained all this weight. And at the same time as I was the heaviest I've ever been, I was my most comfortable ever on camera. So what changed? What changed is what I was saying earlier. Nobody gives a shit what you look like. Literally, say that in the chat for me. Nobody cares. No one cares what you look like. If you trust yourself, which was really the big game changer for me, the big shift, if you can learn to trust yourself to deliver incredible value, if you can learn to trust yourself to just speak from your heart, I'm speaking from my heart. I have no notes right now. If you can trust yourself to speak from your heart and really say whatever is on your heart to say, and really freaking speak from experience, I promise you, nobody is looking at whatever weight you gained. Okay? You're beautiful, whether you put on pounds or whether you have no makeup on. But that doesn't even matter. What matters is that you are sitting on camera and delivering a valuable message and valuable information that your people need and want to hear. Like, that was the big shift for me. And so, obviously, I get it. I'm currently in the process of losing weight. Yay, I feel great. But I'm currently in the process of losing weight, but I am nowhere freaking near my weight loss goals. Nowhere near there. Okay? I'm still showing up. I'm still killing it. I'm still delivering incredible value and incredible information and that people need to hear. Imagine if I didn't show up on here and deliver this information and this message. And I want you to ask yourself that too. Am I going to look back and think, oh my God, I can't believe that I went on camera when I had all this weight that I gained? Or am I going to look back and say, oh my God, I went on camera and I freaking killed it and I delivered such an incredible presentation and my people loved it. Once you start to make that shift, it's a game changer. And I'll give you guys some more tips throughout this Q&A on how to really embrace that. Okay. So next question. How does that feel for you guys? I'd love to hear from you guys if that resonated with you. Okay. What are some ways that I can use the 1% better everyday method to confidently hop on camera? Okay. So before we even get into that, or how you can use it, what is the 1% better everyday method? So it's a method that I teach my students. We actually go really deep into it in the Master in Conversations mentorship. So if you want to get on there, early bird pricing, that expires at midnight, so make sure that you get on there, just saying. We go really deep inside of the program, but essentially what it is, this idea, wow, I can't freaking talk. It is this idea that if you take tiny little baby step actions, one tiny step at a time, every single day, that moves you 1% forward and 1% closer to whatever goal it is that you're trying to reach, after 100 days, you will be 100% better than where you started. And the thing is, it doesn't even have to take 100 days. But it's the idea that by taking tiny little intentional actions every single day, your confidence will start to compound on itself. So how do we use this in terms of getting on camera? Well, the way that I utilized this method for myself was 6 to 7 months ago. I was like shitting bricks about the idea of hopping on camera. It scared the crap out of me. And so I started just one day at a time. So on day 1, for example, I made a video of myself just talking to the camera, just introducing myself. Hi, hello, I'm Stephanie Ellen. I didn't sound as confident as I did now, right? I probably had a million different notes. But I made a 1-minute video just introducing myself and quickly describing what I do. You can even, if that feels uncomfortable, you can hop on and talk about what you ate for dinner last night, right? Just 1-minute video. I didn't even post it. Then the next day, using the idea of 1% better, so the next day I wanted to build on that. So the next day I made a 2-minute video, right? Again, didn't post it. On day 3, I made a 2-minute video that I was actually going to post and I was not going to delete, right? On day 4, I don't even know what number I'm up to, but you guys get the point. By day 10, 11, I was more confident sharing content that included my beautiful little face. I was more confident sharing content that I was able to post and leave up without having a meltdown. Okay? So, hopefully that makes sense. And I would love to hear in the chat if you guys want to share how you can use this method to get 1% more confident today at showing up on camera. And then I want you to start to think about, okay, what can I do tomorrow? What can I do the next day? I always suggest to my students and to anybody that watches my webinars not to try to plan out the full 100 days at all at once. Because the thing is, and this is the best part about this method, the thing is that as your confidence is compounding on itself, and as you're just getting more and more confident, you start to take bigger leaps, bigger risks, right? You start to for example, I think by day 50, when I was doing this challenge on myself and kind of testing it out and learning how to get on camera, by day 50, if I had planned this out all at once, day 50 would have been go live by myself on Instagram, right? Or go live by myself in my one of my Facebook groups that I'm in, or do a live training inside my first program. That would have been day 50 or 60. Instead, because I implemented this work, because I did this work and used the 1% method, for me that was day 20. Okay? So if you try to plan it all out, you're probably going to sell yourself short. But if you just kind of plan out a week at a time, okay, I'm going to do this, you kind of take it in bite-sized bits and you don't freak yourself out, right? Had I tried to plan 100 days at a time, I would have probably looked and been I can't freaking do this. No freaking way. So I would very highly suggest just planning out the next week, and that's it. And then every Sunday or every Friday, whatever day you want to do, you plan out the next week based on where you're at right now. Again, there is a 1% better method, 1% better everyday method mini program happening inside of Mastering Conversations, the mentorship. It's going to be a $197 value. I'll probably eventually sell it separately, but that's a whole other story. but you should get inside the program if you want to learn more about that and if you want to really learn to integrate that strategy into your life. It is game changing. Okay. Alrighty. So somebody said, I'm not comfortable just getting on camera and talking. What should I do? Okay. This is a big one for me too. So, one of the things that, like, I think we like to tell ourselves, like, we like to tell ourselves this story that, when we show up on camera, we have to be, like, overly professional or overly rigid, right? But I want to point out two things. Number one, you don't have to be anything that, like, doesn't feel good for you. So, like, me, for example, you guys are probably watching thinking, this girl is definitely, like, not, like, the most buttoned up person. I want to tell you something, guys, like, right now, what you're seeing right now is exactly how I show up at my job. And I work in a company where, and hopefully, if anybody is, like, watching this or watching the replay from work, sorry, just gonna say it. I work in a company where I'm the minority, being, like, a younger girl. Okay, I'll just say that. Everyone's much more rigid, a lot older than me. It is in the steel industry, so it's just a lot more buttoned up. This is how I show up at work all day, every day. Like I said, in the steel industry, it's a very, like, traditional old industry. If I can show up like this at work, then why the hell can I not show up like this in my business, which is fun, right? It's enjoyable. This is how I show up on work calls. This is how I show up with multi-million-dollar clients. You get to just be yourself. Be who you are. You do not have to be super buttoned up. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you really want to, like, start practicing and you want to figure out, like, what do I say? How do I just hop on camera? Because that used to be me. Practice with a friend. Like, I can't stress that enough. Practice makes perfect. One of the things that I do, I have an initiative called the Stronger by Community Initiative. And in order to get myself over the fear of being on camera, as well as other people, I invite somebody into my space, and we just jam about something that we both have in common. I just interview them, and we chat for 30 minutes about something that we both have in common. And it's so much fun. And just doing that has helped dozens of people get over their own fear of being on camera, while also helping me. So practice with a friend. You don't have to go it alone, like at all. And honestly, and Carly, I don't know if she's still in the chat right now, but Carly is one of my biz besties, and her and I used to just hop on Zoom and, like, talk and, like, record it, and it was awesome. We would just chat, and it would feel like I was talking to a friend, just about, like, things that I knew about and things that she knew about. So if you're not ready to hop on camera, like, in a live setting like this one, or, like, in a more public setting like this one, find an accountability buddy, hop on camera, and just jam out about what you know. And the last thing that I'm going to say about that is, the thing about getting on camera is, like, if you, pretty sure, Carly says, I'm pretty sure in our first Zoom I was in a fuzzy room because it was early my time, but we got shit done. Yeah, we did, and we recorded it, and it was so cute and so awesome and so valuable. Exactly. So, one of the things that, wow, I just lost my train of thought. See, this happens, and it doesn't mean anything about me. Okay. Alright. Okay, the last thing I was going to say about that question is, if you are given the opportunity to hop on camera and speak, and there are other people listening, whether you are in a professional environment, a work environment, whatever it is that you're doing, in your business environment, it's because you are considered an expert on whatever it is you are talking about. Like, say that out loud. I am the expert. I am the expert. If I wasn't the expert, I would not have this opportunity to come on here and talk. So just remind yourself of that, right? Just remind yourself of the fact that you are the expert here. You've got an important message to share, important information to share, and your people need to hear it. Even if they're not watching right now, even if they're not watching you right now, maybe you do a webinar and nobody shows up, or maybe you're just recording something to repurpose it later. Whatever it is, your message is so freaking important because it's coming from you. Okay? Just set the intention from the beginning. This is what I'm going to talk about. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna deliver this message. And just trust yourself that your experience and your knowledge is more than enough to get that message across. It always is. Okay. I'm scared that I'll trip over my words or say the wrong thing. Watch this video. Seriously. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Just watch this video. If you're scared to trip over your words or mess up or say the wrong thing, watch the replay of this. How many freaking times did I stumble over my words and mess up? Plenty. Did it take away from what I'm saying? Did it take away from the message that I'm putting out there? No. I literally probably made 1,000 mistakes throughout the course of this little Q&A. I guarantee that, first of all, it makes me more human. It makes it more entertaining, right? But it did not take away from the message. So just trust yourself that, like, even if you trip over your words, the only person who's going to think about it or remember it is you. I promise. Last but not least, the last question that I have here is, I'm nervous that I won't be able to convey my message. Okay. So, that's kind of like where the outline piece comes in. So, I think one of the biggest things is that before you get on camera, this is like super helpful. Even if you plan nothing else, even if you have no other notes, make yourself a little game plan where you set the intention. Okay? Set the intention. What is the outcome for you? Like, why do you want to get on here? And, like, what are you hoping will happen as a result? But more importantly, set the intention for your audience. What is your audience going to get out of listening to you, right? The next thing that I always say is, hold on. You want to talk about the information that is going to lead them to take action. So make yourself a bulleted list, maybe 3 to 5 points, like what information do they need to know in order to achieve that intention, right? And then at the end, just give them an action to take, an action to where they can implement the information that they just learned in order to achieve the outcome that you set the intention with from the beginning. right? So set the intention, give them the information that they need, and then walk them through what action they need to take using that information in order to get to the outcome that you set from the beginning. Right? You can recap everything, and then if you are somebody like me who has a course or an offer, an opportunity to help them achieve the outcome in much less time, or with much less money than it would cost them if they tried to do it by themselves, then you can wrap up and share that at the end. That's it. If you do that for yourself, if you take 10 minutes to outline, and we go really deep on that inside of the webinar, as well as, of course, inside of Mastering Conversations. If you do that for yourself, your message will come across. It's literally that freaking simple. As long as you know why you're here and what your intended outcome is, the how part doesn't actually matter. Like, literally nobody cares. Anyway, that's my spiel. Before we wrap up, Carly says, I understand a professional aspect, but when you're getting on camera with someone on your wavelength and the goal is clear, what you look like is minor compared to the content. The message matters. Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, if it's your people, and that's the other thing too, like, of course, in any area of life, like, no matter whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you are talking about, whoever it is that you're connecting with, some people just aren't your people. Some people just, maybe they will look at you and care how you look, but those aren't your people. Screw them. If they're looking at you and caring about how you look, maybe they should look at themselves. That was a little harsh, but seriously, you're not here to impress other people with how you look. You're here to deliver information and an important message. Okay? So, and that even, like, being somebody in a professional field, like, of course, yes, I always try to put myself together, more so than what I look like right now. When I'm hopping on, like, professional Zoom, I put on a little mascara and, like, not a sweatshirt, but you don't have to, like, be anybody that you're not. You don't have to behave like anybody you're not, and nobody gives a shit if you put on a little weight or if you don't look perfect, okay? My hair is normally in a mess bun. Today it looks beautiful. Thank you, Adrian. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for trusting me to guide you through this. Because I'm a nice human being, and because I love you guys, I'm going to leave this Q&A up. If you would like to watch the webinar and you watched this Q&A, amazing, just DM me and I will send you the special private link, and I will let you guys know ASAP who is the winner of a private consultation call where we're going to freaking implement this stuff. Alright? And then, and last but not least, if you would like to get into into Mastering Conversations, the mentorship, the early bird pricing goes up tonight at midnight. It's currently $333. It's going to go up to $444. Eventually, it will be up to $997 and above. This program is going to change so many lives. I can feel it in my freaking bones. So get in now while it's cheap. There's over $3,000 worth of value inside of there, and it's an honor to be able to teach it, and I'm so excited to be able to help you guys, like, literally use your voice to get everything that you ever wanted, to literally pave the path ahead to everything that you've ever wanted. Your voice is the most powerful instrument, and we're going to work on your inner dialogue. We're going to work on the way that you communicate with your partners, with your friends, with your boss, with your potential clients. I'm going to help you show up like the most confident person no matter who is in the room. Alright? And I'm just so excited, and I'm so honored to have the opportunity to offer this program. So, thank you all for watching. I love you all. And the link is in my bio if you would like to enroll. Again, price goes up at midnight. It'll go up again next Monday at midnight, etc., etc. DM me if you want the link to the webinar. Again, that expires for most people at midnight. For you guys, it expires tomorrow at midnight. Love you guys.